Yo, what's up, guys, and welcome back to our Canucks GM mode. So, in last episode, we took on the Arizona Coyotes in round number 1, the defending back-to-back Stanley Cup champions, and we defeated them in 6 games. Game number 1, we lost 6-1. Wasn't a good game defensively, and Thatcher Demko did not play good at all. However, we bounced back with a 4-3 victory in Arizona to tie this series at 1 going back home. Game number 3, we lost in overtime by a score of 3-2. Then we had 3 straight games where we played amazing. Probably our best hockey we've played in the playoffs ever, as we won Game 4 6-1 to tie the series at 2. Demko stood on his head and our offense produced. Then game number 5 in Arizona was probably our best road game of the year. We won 5-1 after winning 6-1 last game and then winning 5-1. Our offense still continued to produce, and our goaltending was superb. So we scored 11 goals and only allowed 2 in those 2 games. Then going into the elimination game, Thatcher Demko continued to stand on his head, only allowing 1 goal in that game and allowing 3 in the last 3 games of the series. And our offense still managed to produce 3 goals. So our offense picked up a total of 14 goals and only allowed 3 goals in the last 3 games of that series. So in round number 2, like I said, we're up against the Calgary Flames now. We've played Calgary multiple times in the playoffs before. I don't know what our record in the playoffs is against them, but we are looking to get on to that Western Conference Finals for only the second time in this franchise mode. Last time we went into the conference finals, we played against the Dallas Stars, and we have a chance to do that again this year. Or we play against the Colorado Avalanche, who had Vasilevsky for like a season and lost him to the Boston Bruins. So, anyways, not gonna waste any time. Let's get on to round number 2 against the Flames. So, game 1 in the Scotiabank Saddledome. Let's see if our offense could come out firing. First period, and we get the game's first goal. Nolan Patrick, only 4 minutes in. Makes it 1-0. Shots are 14-8 in favor of us. Let's see if that can continue into the second period. Second period, and our offense makes it 2-0. Well, our defense, Ole Ulevi, makes it a 2-0 game. We're out shooting him 20-18, and we have a 2-goal lead. Can we lock it down in the third? Penalty kill, long penalty kill. Penalty's going on for like 5 minutes, and we killed it off. But the Flames are now out shooting us, but we still have this lead. Penalty kill again, and it's another long one, and we kill it off. Time's winding down. Thatcher Demko's playing great again, and we're going to make it 3-0. Sam Bin with an empty netter. Bennett breaks Demko's shutout, but another game where Thatcher Demko only allows in 1 goal. So Thatcher Demko's allowed 4 goals in his last 4 games, and he's standing on his head, and our offense manages to produce early, and that gets us the win. So Patrick from Ulevi and Fiala, Ulevi from Liljegren and Patrick, and Bitten from Wyman and Yossi. First start in the game obviously is going to go to Demko with 37 saves, Ulevi with 2 points, and Patrick with 2 points. So let's see if that can continue into game number 2. We stole at least 1 game in Calgary. If we could steal 2, maybe we'll have a chance of sweeping the series. So we just handed Calgary their first loss of the playoffs as they swept the Anaheim Ducks in round number 1. So game 2 in Calgary, will we take a 2-0 series lead? First period, and that's an offensive explosion, and I'll take it, I guess, because Flames are up 2-0, Howell and Vince Molson, but then Owen Tippett with 2 goals in the last 5 minutes of the period, and we have a tie game. Shots are 11-8 in favor of the Flames. Second period, and more offense happens, but more for us. Samuelson makes it 3-2. And Albolin makes it 4-2. However, Emil Poye gets a late goal to pull the Flames within 1 going into the third. We're out shooting him 27-20. Let's see if we could get an insurance marker here in the third and lock it down. Power play, and we kill it off. Or we got a power play and we missed, and then we killed off a penalty kill. Bit of a tongue twister. We're out shooting him third still, and Albolin with his second of the night makes it a 5-3 game. That's a huge goal from Mikhail Albolin. Is that going to be it in game number 2? Yes, it is, pretty much, as Owen Tippett gets an empty netter. And we are going to win the game 6-3 and win both games in Calgary. Owen Tippett with a hat trick in that game. And your Vancouver Canucks are up 2-0 with 2 road wins, and now have a chance to maybe go up 3-0 in the series with a win on home ice. So another great performance from Demko. He only allowed in 3 goals only in that game, but still he's only allowed in 7 goals in the last 5 games, which means he's only allowing like just over 1 goal a game, maybe about 1.25, I don't even know. Let's see if he can continue that going into Game 3 here on home ice. Can we take a 3-0 stranglehold on the Flames? First period, and okay, I'll take that again. So they get the early goal. Jacob Vrana, our former player, but Nick Mutry ties it back up. Paul Bittner gives them lead, and Owen Tippett with another late goal in the first period, tying it at 2. He's got 4 goals in the series. Second period, and it's 3-3 still, so we're still tied up. Al Blaine with his 3rd goal of the series, and Eric Howlett ties it up. So it's anybody's game going into the third 3-3 game. It's been a pretty big offensive explosion in this series, at least in the last 2 games. Shots are in the Flames' favor, 34-24, but nobody has scored yet here in the third. 5 minutes left, penalty kill. That's a huge one, and we killed off. Time's winding down, and we're going to overtime. Shots are 38-28 in favor of the Flames, but Demko has made 35 saves, and that's the reason why we're going into overtime. Can we get a hero here in Vancouver? Somebody that could be like an Alexander Burrows or a Kevin Bieksa from 2011 or 2010 or 2012. I don't remember. Time's winding down here in the first overtime. Demko's standing on his head, but he lets in a goal from Hunter Smith, and the Calgary Flames are going to pull back within one of the series, as Demko is still making 42 saves in that loss. So Demko still gave us a chance to take a 3-0 lead, and he doesn't get a start because he let in 4 goals, but Hunter Smith gets first star, a 4th liner to Nick Mutry and Ty Smith. Okay, so I'm not going to change anything with the lines because that game we could have honestly taken a 3-0 lead. But if we could win this game on home ice, at least we're headed back to Calgary with a chance to end the series. So, Game 4 here in Vancouver. Can we take a 3-1 lead? Not a 4-0 lead, but I'm saying first period, and it's scoreless again. Shots are 8-6 in favor of us. Second period, and it's still scoreless. Shots are 19-13 in favor of us, but nobody has managed to get a goal yet. Demko's still standing on his head. Well, he's only made like 13 saves, but he's still been great. And Henrik Samuelsson, the trade acquisition, makes it 1-0. But then a shorthanded goal, I think, from Hunter Shinkarik, and this game is tied back up. The revenge of Jim Benning and his horrible trades got that goal for Calgary, but then Lucas Vejdomo, a free agent signing that we got only for depth, but he manages to come through with a potential game-winning goal. Yes, he does. And the Vancouver Canucks are going to take a 3-1 stranglehold on the Calgary Flames and are 1 game away from that Western Conference Finals. So, Samuelsson from Stetcher and Mutry, and Vejdomo from Al Blaine. So, are we headed back to the Western Conference Finals? We are 1 game away. There's the 3 stars, as you guys can see. So, I'm still not going to change anything with the lines because we've been playing great in these games. We've been not allowing too much goals, and we've been scoring a decent amount. So, can we eliminate the Calgary Flames here tonight in their home building? That would be awesome and a way to rub it in their face. So, first period in game number 5 is a scoreless period, but we're out-cheating them heavily, 19-5. That is a crazy first period, but will we get that much in the second? I don't know. Second period, and it's 1-1 after 2. We're out-cheating them 34-12, but it's only a 1-goal game, or it's a tie game. John Giles has been just keeping the Flames in this. He's made 33 saves through 2 periods. He's going to need to be a lot better here in the third because we're going to come out flying, trying to get that series-clinching goal. We're almost at 40 shots now. They're only almost at 20 shots, so we're like basically doubled them in shots. 5 minutes left. Time's winding down and still 1-1. Are we headed back to overtime? Yes, we're going to. Is it shots going into overtime? 45-22. So John Giles must be standing on his head for the Flames, making 44 saves throughout 3 periods. Will we get that next goal and send our way on to the conference finals for the first time since we played the Dallas Stars? And yes, we will. Lucas Vegdomo, an 81 overall free agent signing that we picked up as depth, comes through with his second game winner of the series. And your Vancouver Canucks are headed back to the Western Conference Finals with a display of a five game series, winning 4-1. So Ulivi from Bitten and Wyman, Vegdomo with his fourth of the playoffs from Yossi and Theodore. So another great performance from Demko. A great performance to John Giles. I'll admit that. And Vegdomo with the overtime winning goal. So we're headed back to the conference finals. Who are we going to play? That is the question. Before we find out who we're going to play, it's going to be either Dallas or Colorado. Let's take a look at our player stats from that round. And it will sim up to the conference finals to see who we're playing up against. So Troy Stetcher leading the way for us, 10 points in 11 games, 1 goal, 9 assists. 9 points for Nolan Patrick. And Albaline, Horvat 7 points, Vegdomo 7 points. That's awesome. He's not even that good of an overall, but he's still been able to put up stuff. He's got a good wrist shot power, and that might be helping him get goals. So Samuelson 7 points as well. Yossi 6 points. Pretty much everybody's been putting up decent numbers here in the playoffs. Nazarev's only got 2 points, but that's in 11 games, so it's okay. And he's only 21. Goaltending though, Thatcher Demko. Let's see his stats. So 8-1 in the playoffs, 2.18 goals against average, and a .930 save percentage. So Thatcher Demko is definitely our MVP currently in this playoff run. Let's see who we are going up against. So the Dallas Stars have taken a 3-2 series lead, and is that going to be it? Or is Colorado going to force a Game 7? Too bad Colorado doesn't have Vasilevsky still, because that would make for an interesting series if we had to play them. And Dallas is going to win, so we're going to be playing Dallas in the conference finals again. But this time their lineup should probably be a bit different. And in the west or the east, you got the Pittsburgh Penguins and the Tampa Bay Lightning. So that's interesting. I don't think Louis Eriksson's still playing in Tampa Bay. I don't remember if we traded anybody else to Tampa Bay or any of our other players. But let's see what the Dallas Stars look like. This time we have home ice in the series. Last time I believe Dallas did. So let's take a look at what the Dallas Stars are all about. So offensive categories, they're better than us offensively, 93 to 92. I'd assume mostly because of Sagan and Ben. Defensively, we're better, 91 to 90, and in goaltending wise, we're 90 to their 88. So it's a pretty even series, it looks like. We're better all around, but they have a killer offense, it looks like. So let's see what they look like in comparison to us. So view opponents. So Jamie Benn and Tyler Sagan, 93 and a 94. Sniper and a playmaker. These two, I believe, have been leading the league in points for every year, the last few years. So these guys are dangerous. Denis Gurianov has grown nicely for them, 88 overall. Dmitry Yaskin, 83. That's a pretty weak player to have on the second line. Tyler Johnson, that's actually a nice center to have behind Sagan, 87 overall. Anders Lee, 85. That's okay for a second liner. Jason Dickinson, 83. Derek Brassard, 85. That's actually really nice center core for the top three centers. Cody Eakin, 84. Clint Wolski, 79. Taro Pedersen, 81 overall. And Samuel Busek, or Bukes, I don't even know how to pronounce it, 82 overall. Defensively, they got Emili Rasanen, 87 overall. And Julius Honka, 86. Interesting, they didn't put Klingberg on the top two defensive pairing. They have him on the second. Klingberg, 89 overall. Luber Hachik, 82 overall. Damir Sherapizanov, 82 overall. Don't even know who he is. And Kip Winquist, 81. So these three right here are kind of weak. But other than that, these three are pretty decent. Klingberg's really good. Rasanen's a nice complementary pairing. And then Honka is pretty decent. He should be here, I think. But whatever, I don't know why Dallas decided to change it up like that. Goaltending, you got Martin Jones, 87 overall, so that's a pretty decent starter. And Kai Yolonen, that's a really weak backup goalie, 74 overall. Then scratched, you got Joey Ollie, 78 overall, and Max Patterson, 77 overall. So, yeah, this team is not the most dangerous except for that first line, and the defensive player, the power play. Let's check a look at their power play. yeah, their power play is probably really dangerous because you got Honka, Klingberg, Sagan, Johnson, Sagan, and Ben. Yeah, that is a very deadly power play. And then Gurianov, Broussard, and Lee is pretty decent, it seems like, as well. And then Rasanen's pretty good, but then Sharapazanov's a little weak for that power play. But overall, I think they're a pretty good matchup to play against. Quickly, before we end this episode, let's just take a look at what they did during the regular season. Like their team stats. I just want to see where they finished in the standings and their power play and all that sort of stuff, because I don't remember how good of a team they were when we ended the episodes, or the end of the regular season. So, entire league, they finished below us. Okay, so they finished 43-20, 32-7. They were scoring 2.99 goals per game, which was one of the best actually in the league. So they're a very good offensive team, 4th in the league. I don't know how it's continued into the playoffs. Their goals against was really bad actually. Yeah, it was one of the worst goals against in the league, 3.02. And then their power play was 20%, so we got to watch out for that power play for sure, which is like top 15 in the league. Penalty kill looks really bad, so they're pretty much a pure offensive team, and that's it. How did they play on their home ice and stuff like that? Okay, kind of even. And going into the playoffs, they were 3-5-2. So, okay. So basically, what to take away from this: if we can play really good defensively, we should be able to lock down the Dallas Stars and win the series. So, anyways, guys, that's gonna do it for this episode of our Canucks GM Mode. So next episode, we'll take on the Dallas Stars in the conference finals and hopefully get to our first Stanley Cup finals against either Tampa Bay or Pittsburgh. So thank you guys for watching. See you guys next time.